Yeah, I think this is a very exciting matchup. I mean, you have this Mountaineer team that's coming off a 30-shot performance against the Rebels, and
Mhm.
where both games they just dominated with a 5-1 win and a 6-0 win, and the Rebels just could not find any momentum against this
Mhm.
relentless attack against a really good blue and gold team.
Yeah, I agree. And like you said, so far dominating here in the Swiss play. Hopefully, it's going to continue on here today. Both these teams going into this matchup are 2-0 so far in the Swiss. So if you guys don't know how the Swiss bracket does work, so basically it's going to be based off your wins and losses for who you're actually going to play. So you're going to have undefeated teams playing undefeated teams. You're going to have teams who haven't won a match also playing against teams who have also not won a match, which is why we're going to see the two undefeated teams matching up against here today. But I think if I had to take a guess here, I'm expecting another dominant victory for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, I'd say I'd say I would expect another dominant victory. I'd also like to put with how they set this up. Lately, Emma last game against the Rebels was just doing a really good job setting up both Hira and Duffy with
Mm-hmm.
six total assists in last match. So I'd like to see how they continue setting those plays up and continue their relentless attack and putting pressure on a undefeated FIU team.
Yeah, FIU's defense so far, I mean, they've been pretty, dominant. I guess you could say in their games as well. But against the, like you said, relentless offense that is this Mountaineer team. I mean, every single player on this roster can score wherever they want. I mean, Emma, I believe third in goals right now on this team, has had so many shots on goal, and it keeps the pressure up for her teammates to try to, get the rebounds. We've seen that time and time again where Emma, leads an attack, gets a shot, it's off the mark, but here is able to get the rebound and just put it to the net. So I think we're going to see that more and more here today.
Yeah, and I agree. I'd also like to see how FIU responds to an offense that's, if you know the song Bob Dylan's "Knock Knock Knocking on Heaven's Door," that's what the Mountaineers are going to do all night with FIU. And I'm kind of curious how they kind of stop such a relentless attack that's going to put a lot of pressure on them, especially in their own zone. So for
Yes.
FIU, I expect them to play very smart and also try to, when they're doing their offense, try to play very timely and try, if they see the opportunity, take advantage of it, knowing that they're going to have to play a really good game to try to pull off the win against the Mountaineers.
Yes, I agree. And bit more housekeeping before we go on to today's matchup. We are going to have the main roster playing later tonight. So that'll be a very, very fun one. It's going to be against Ball State. We see that so many times. I think we've casted so many Ball State matches. It's kind of like Cleveland and the Golden State Warriors at this point. But they also are going to be playing ETSU beforehand. So they're doing a bit of a doubleheader tonight. So that ETSU game could really affect their mental if they are, losing that game, then going into what I would call a super team that is the Mountaineer roster. So that'll be very interesting. But I think, like I said earlier, every team I'm hoping tonight should be a dominant victory for main roster and here in Lotus. And we are going to be streaming the second Lotus roster, our third Rocket League match later tonight at 9. We do not know who the opponent is going to be as of yet. Like I said, that Swiss roster changes depending on if you win or lose. But yeah, a lot of exciting stuff. A big night for Rocket League.
Yeah, this is a really big night for Rocket League. Both Lotus and the varsity team have plenty to prove. I mean, we saw the varsity team play a very good Baylor team, so this is going to be a very interesting night for the Mountaineers, who are looking for both teams just to keep their dominant play up in the esports.
Yeah. Mountaineers currently 2-0. Lotus is currently 2-0 here in the Swiss roster. I would say this is going to be probably their best team they've played yet. That will probably continue through the Swiss roster as they keep playing better and better teams. Obviously, week 1 was against PPU. That was a 2-0. Last week, Rebels, that was a 2-0, both dominant. FIU, a bit better. They've been playing, I would say, not as high competition as well. They did play Akron White, though, which is not a bad team. They did beat them 2-1. And then they also played the Dust Devils last week as well, which they beat 2-0. So this is going to be by far their biggest competition so far here in Swiss play. But I don't know. I honestly don't see them taking a round here.
I wouldn't say that, just because when you're in esports or even sports in general, anyone can pull up the upset. Like
Mm-hmm.
when you saw UMBC in March Madness pull up the upset against the #1 seed in Virginia.
Right.
Just because FIU is not as highly touted as the Mountaineers, I still wouldn't put them back where they couldn't steal a round or even pull up the
Mm-hmm.
upset. So I'd still keep things eyes, because if the Mountaineers come in too confident and kind of play lukewarm, I wouldn't be surprised if FIU takes advantage of subpar
Oh,
play
yeah.
and be able to steal a round or two from the Mountaineers.
I agree. As long as Mountaineers are able to keep up their, offense that's been so dominant so far. I think they're going to be okay, but that is, like you said, if they are letting off the gas, this is not a, super bottom of the barrel team. It is a solid team. They are currently undefeated. So you do have to, not just skip across this and go to your next matchup. You still have to take care of business here today, get to that 3-0, and then hopefully end the night off 4-0, whoever we play, in the last match at 9 o'clock. But just, I don't know, this offense so far, this trio has been relentless. Like you said, it's just knocking at the door. You're constantly, shots on goal have been through the roof so far this semester. And I think that stays prevalent today. We're going to see a lot of high scoring games.
Yeah, I would say you expect a lot of high-scoring teams, and like you said, this offense not only is it very deadly, it's consistent. Every game they played, they've gone into double-digit shooting. So I just think with an offense like this, not only are they good, they're consistent, and I'd rather have a team that might be a little bit worse offensively that's consistent than a team that can go one game and score 10 goals one game, then the next game only score 2. So I'd rather have the team that's consistent, because consistency, you're way more likely to win games playing consistent than playing up and down games where you can score 10 goals a game and then 1 goal a game, and that's just not a viable formula to winning.
Yeah, I agree. We saw that last week against Burton Parker. Burton Parker has been a team who admittedly has been very inconsistent in their matches. Like you said, they have the games where they're going to score 8. They have the games where they're going to score 2. Then they have games that they don't score at all. So that type of inconsistent offense and defense as well, it leads to you're not really able to predict what's going to happen. They're always kind of all over the place. Sometimes they're blowing out teams that they should not really even have a chance against, and sometimes they're losing against teams that they should be blowing out. This Mountaineer team, luckily, does not suffer from that plague. They are very consistent. Both sides, main roster and Lotus, have, I would say, beaten the teams they should beat. And they've taken care of business time and time again.
Yeah, and I think a big key about that is both Hira and Emma have plenty of chemistry working together because they've both been working on each other. And then also, it's a good job with both Emma and Hira incorporating Duffy, who's currently in his second semester here at WVU. So I just think Emma's done a really good job as the leader, and everyone's worked together to find what their role is and build up that chemistry. Yes, we already knew Emma and Hira had the good chemistry, but it's a good job that just because those two have great chemistry, they're also building up with Duffy. So not one side of the team. It has a weak side, and they just find the consistency that this team needs.
That's something that they kind of struggled with a little bit when Duffy first got in the lineup, is kind of, having that puzzle piece really fit in with, like you said, chemistry is very important, but when it's only between 2 players on a 3-person roster, it kind of, alienates that third person. And we saw that, I wouldn't say it was an issue when Duffy first came on the roster, but it definitely something they had to kind of work around, and they got around it immediately. There was no real bumps in the road for that at all, but it's something that you do have to worry about of, coming into a roster with already a very well-determined chemistry. How am I going to fit into this? How can I, work my way in and really synergize with this team that is basically Emma and Hira have been on this Lotus roster since the inception of the team. So they run way back,
Yeah, when you have them way back, you could also try, when you have that long enough experience when you're working with players, their gives, where their strong suits, where their weak spots, and where to make them shine and where you can cover up those weaknesses. And I think that's just what's the beauty of watching both Hira and Emma play together, is knowing they know where both their strengths and weaknesses lie, and they know where to cover those weaknesses up, which makes both of them a better player and raises up the pedestal of the team. While Duffy, you have this very young stud who's currently proving himself as a highly talented freshman and showing what's going on. So I just think having those 2 players with much experience is also a good learning opportunity for Duffy. He's going to grow more and more as more opportunities get to play.
Exactly. And like you said, it's always good to have, somebody come in the roster and learn from the main 2 or just the main 1 person that's all, kind of leading the charge. And in Lotus, I wouldn't really say nor Emma nor Hira really takes the leadership role. It's just they kind of just work together, as a 3-person roster. They're all kind of doing their part. They're doing their role. And that chemistry really will shine through. We're going to see it today. We see it every single matchup. We're going to see just Emma and Hira just not even needing to communicate. They're just there. The wavelengths are just syncing up with each other, and they're going to have, these plays where if it was not these 2 players who had that much chemistry, it just would not happen. It would not work. So I'm really excited to see that again today. We see it time and time again, but it's always an exciting thing to see. And I don't know. Are we thinking Hira's going to score the most goals today?
I'd say that. I think with how Hira's played last time, he had 5 goals, and he had by far the most shots of last game against the Rebels. He had 13 shots, so I'd expect him to score the most goals. But I would also keep an eye out of Duffy, who's shown, even though he shot the least amount of goals, he was still second on the team with 4 goals against the Rebels. So I'd say I'd keep an eye on Hira, but don't watch out for Duffy, because yes, he doesn't shoot a lot, but he's very effective when he does shoot.
I agree. And like you said, Hira, I mean, absolute, point guard really on this roster a lot of times, just making things work, and already off to a really solid start. Nice crossbar there already. FIU forced to get on the defense. Immediately here, and a nice save by Drew God. Starting us off hot. This Mountaineer offense is already kicking into high gear. Duffy now able to take us back on his side of the pitch, getting a full boost, and now just jetting past. I mean, we're going to see this Mountaineer attack just relentless time and time again. If FIU can try to keep something going here, a nice setup there by Drew God, shut down immediately though. First 30 seconds now into this match, and Hira already nice dribble into the air, but another good save by Drew God. Drew God currently everywhere, all over this pitch.
Yeah, Drew God's just playing really good defense, and he's pretty much been the answer to the Mountaineers, just starting off the gate very, very high and playing very, very aggressive.
Yeah, nice motion there by Coco. On to Emma, so make it a 3v2 now. Duffy down this right side, taken away, and something so far, both these teams kind of setting the example, not really, I mean, the Mountaineers, the first possession there, I thought maybe we're going to take this and get super aggressive, but as of right now, they're forced to kind of play a little bit of defense here. Duffy with a nice clear off this left side. Yeah. So I will keep it, get the full boost, now back on the other side. Coco loses the 50-50 in the air, and regains possession. Zernite, nice dribble through, can he get the save? Hira can't make it there in time. And I think the score bug is off, but FIU will go up early here. Beautiful shot.
Yeah, what a beautiful shot. I think the Mountaineers are just kind of trying to feel out what they see in FIU, because this is still game 1 of a best of 3, and I expect the Mountaineers to try to respond very quickly against an early goal by FIU.
Yeah, and admittedly, a part of me is a bit surprised FIU is going up this early. I mean, that was a pretty dominant, couple possessions there from them. The Mountaineers weren't really able to get too much going. I mean, we mentioned the defense earlier of Drew God, and I think got 2 or 3 saves. Yeah, 3 saves so far in this game. Only a minute and a half in. So, wasn't for him, this would be a 1-1.
Yeah, Drew God's been playing very clutch. We're also, what a demo by Delushin, but so far Drew God's been pretty much the key player for FIU. But I'd like to say Coco, and that pretty much FIU in total has been playing very well offensively against this aggressive Mountaineers team.
Yeah, and I mean, people say, the best defense is a good offense sometimes, just keeping the ball out of that side, which we see a lot of times, honestly, from this W roster, is that a lot of people don't even have an opportunity to score, and Duffy, speaking of the offense, is going to even this one out. A beautiful touch by him. Coco just could not get the correct touch, and Duffy, an easy one there, knocking it in with nobody home. Zernite not able to get back in time, and this is all even.
Like we said, Duffy doesn't shoot the ball much, but he is when he's near the goal, he shoots very, very well and has a high percentage on shots. So if FIU wants to pull off this win, they need to figure a way to stop this Mountaineers attack and make sure Duffy's nowhere near the net.
Speaking of Duffy again, nice on the shot there. Drew God, the man in shining armor so far for this FIU team, coming out once again, creating an attack here for FIU. Gonna get shut down basically immediately. Zernite trying to keep it in play. Duffy on this right side. It's a nice touch, but Coco's going to back him up. And once again, I mean, like we're saying, WVU playing on their back foot, I would say more than we usually see, I mean, usually they are just keeping the pressure on, not really having too much time on defense, but FIU is putting up a really good fight so far.
Yeah, I agree. FIUs have been putting up a really good fight so far, and it's been like you're being seen an immovable object versus unstoppable force, with FIU just playing great around their own goal, while the Mountaineers are looking to find an answer to this great defensive wall that FIU has set up against the Gold and Blue.
Yeah, Zernite get a clear there. A nice center there, but nobody home to really take advantage of that. Zernite, he was a Mountaineer, that'd be a great pass, but not in the end. Full boost back in his tank. And a very solid pass up to the front. Zernite off the back wall. Not in the correct position to really make a play there. Hira gonna ride on top of his car. And once again, this is 1.5 minutes left and we are all tied up. Currently anybody's game right now.
Yeah, this is anybody's game. And I don't think this is the type of game that teams really expected. And
huge hit there by Zernite. And once again, I believe his second goal here in this match. Beautiful touch right over from Coco and right over the head of Emma. And then it's going to be FIU going up once again, retaking that lead with 1:20. Question is, are they going to be able to defend it?
Yeah, I think the question is, how does the Mountaineers go against a team that's currently playing very well defensively and playing a lot more aggressive and attacking around the net? Because so far, the Mountaineers just have not been able to find an answer to the FIU's offense here in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest factor we've seen so far are these passes. I mean, we saw it earlier from Coco on that second goal. I mean, that was a perfect touch, a perfect setup to get Zernite just in the exact position he needed to be to score. And that is something we're not really seeing here from this Mountaineer roster as of yet. Almost going to eat my words there. Usually we see that Emma Hero connection shining through and getting some easy goals. And there it is, another one. Emma shuts me up quickly.
Yeah, Emma showing just the connection and the trust she has with this team. She's showing her experience that she's been on this team, one of the longest members of this team, and she's showing that experience. And just like that, she helps get the Mountaineers back on board and tying this game against FIU.
Yeah, 43 seconds remaining here for this tie, though. FIU's had the lead twice now, but really have not been able to defend it. And hopefully we're going to see one more Mountaineer goal before time expires here, or we're going to see an overtime here in game one. Almost a nice top left shot there by Coco. They had to score here in this game. 5 shots on goal for them. Been very relentless. Now down this left side here, full boost in the tank. Now 20 seconds remaining before we're going to see this into overtime. Duffy kind of playing back, not playing super aggressive right now, making sure you don't give up any easy goals. We've seen over rotations from this roster beforehand. Not looking to make that mistake this time, though. Ball up in the air, everyone's going to meet it there. 4 seconds remaining here. Duffy gets a nice touch, try to keep it off the ground. One more touch on the ground, and we're going to see overtime here. A nice demolition into the goal, though. Might set up a Mountaineer attack here. No, cannot keep it up off the ground, and we are going to go into overtime here in our first game.
Yeah, this game is not what we expected. Even though the game's 2-2, I'd say the team that's currently been the more dominant team has been FIU, because the Mountaineers have just had to defend the ball more side on their own side of the field than FIU. So if you're the Mountaineers, I expect them to play a lot more aggressive to try to steal this goal against a FIU team that's been playing a really good game early on.
Yeah, and a part of that really good game has been Drew God. I mean, 4 saves for him so far. This game would be over if it wasn't for those saves earlier on in the match in that first minute. A nice touch there going in, Coco. Ooh, almost a disaster there for FIU. Solid demolition and a solid touch from Drew God, but a little bit off the mark. Coco gets a nice shot, but Emma's there to meet it.
Yeah, Emma with a great save. It's a great save, but so far, this game is really back and forth, tug of war. Right now, it's going to see which the defense breaks and ends up giving up the game-winning goal.
Yeah, nice shot there by Emma, just off the top, a little bit far left, almost having there was Duffy. Could have been the hero here in this game. Drew got a little bit early on the touch, over the long pass. Emma's going to intercept it. Duffy meets it up in the air, spikes it up high. Is anybody in goal to defend it? No! Emma! The golden goal here in game one, sending Lotus for a 1-0 series lead and match point here in this best of 3.
Yeah, what a goal from Emma, scoring off the assist from Duffy, and this has just been showing the experience that she has as one of the older players on this team. She's showing the experience, and that's the type of experience you have to rely on when you're in a close game like this, and a game that goes into overtime.
Yeah, beautiful shot there. I mean, honestly, admittedly, a little bit closer than I expected. I mean, I know I said earlier I don't see FIU taking a round on this team, but that was a very good showing. I mean, immediately they were just on the ball. We had, like you said, a lot of aggression coming in from them. The defense was there. So going into this game too, I mean, Mountaineers are coming off a win, but I wouldn't call it a decisive one.
No, I wouldn't call it a decisive one. And if I'm FIU, yes, you're a little bit bummed you did not win that round, but if I'm FIU, I have to be very happy with how that defense have played, because this defense is what's keeping them in the game. And so far, the Mountaineers have shown a little bit struggle against this team.
Zernite, beautiful touch there, just to himself. I mean, just look at this, right up, center to himself, off the backboard, right over a Mountaineer defender, and going up in the first 12 seconds is a beautiful way to start game 2. I mean, Zernite has been the soul, the heart here of this FIU offense so far. I mean, Drew God has been the shield. Zernite has been the sword. And a beautiful start here for FIU. Lotus gonna have to respond. Now on this left side, Duffy, not a lot of tank, not a lot of boost in the tank to work with. Almost a open goal there for the Mountaineers. Zernite able to retrieve it though. And his own backcourt. Coco, 0 boost for them as well. And right now, I mean, we're seeing this Lotus team, I mean, them going down early is not something we see, too often. And maybe we're underestimating this FIU, offense here. Zernite, another good look. This time, though, will be met by a defender, but no one home for that one. And DrewGod gonna find his first here in the series. And now a 2-goal lead with only 50 seconds lapsing here in game 2. Lotus, I mean, not a good start.
Yeah, not a good start. I mean, Zernite has just been getting a lot of shots on the Mountaineers, and then DrewGod with just a critical goal. If you're the Mountaineers, you're going to need to find a way to respond quickly and figure a way to stop just the FIU attack, because so far they're just letting FIU have their way with them.
Yeah, good touch there by Hero. There's 2 defenders there to shut that down. Duffy, a nice shot of his own, and there it is. The first Lotus goal here in game 2, cutting that lead down to 1. And mind you here, Lotus is on match point. So they tie this up. I mean, they were in a beautiful spot. This is so far a very high-scoring game. Only 1 minute and 6 seconds in, we already have 3 goals.
Yeah, this is a much different game. This game is just doing a complete 380 from what last game was, and that was a very defensive game. And this game is already having a really big offensive showcase with both teams coming up really aggressive, trying to break the defense of each team.
Yeah, Emma, oh no, not what you want to see there. Full court shot, Emma not able to get back in time. And that is a bit of I wouldn't call it an overcommit, because Coco just kind of sent it from his own side. But that is 1 goal that's going to come out to bite you later on when you go back through game tape. Just something you cannot allow to happen, and that is back to that 2-goal lead here for FIU. Lotus cannot allow that to happen.
Yeah, just an unfortunate mistake by Emma, but as long...
Goodness. Zernite again, his 2nd goal here now. 3-goal lead for FIU. FIU, I mean, just pedal to the metal here in game 2. They were playing defense in game 1, but the offense is on full display here in game 2.
Yeah, after knowing that they had a chance to win round 1, FIU has just come up and brought the hammer and trying to force the game 3, as they've just been outplaying the Mountaineers in game 2.
Yeah, 100%. Coming here now, I mean, a lot of time for Mountaineers to work with. I mean, we've seen them come down from these deficits before, with how lethal this offense really can be. But if you're the Mountaineers here, you cannot give up another goal. I mean, this is it. 3 goals is already a lot to surmount, but 4 goals, I mean, you're kind of looking at, impossible there. And another goal going to come in here from Emma. Solid shot down to the left. And now 6 goals in 2 minutes here. I mean, I talked about high scoring in the pregame. We are seeing it on full display here.
Yeah, and you just see the momentum just shift to the Mountaineers, knowing they're down 3 and they need to score desperately with 3 minutes left. That is exactly what the Gold and Blue need to get back in this game. Now, the answer is, can they attack on another one to make it a 1-goal game?
Hopefully so. On this right side, full tank of gas. Looking for that one at least. Duffy. Interception on this other side as well. Now taking a bit of a charge of his own. Nice dribble there. Cannot get over the defender. Coco's going to get a nice possession. Hero, though, up in the air. Setting it up for Emma. Can Emma swipe through? No. Zernite going to get the clear before anything can happen. Good defense there by Duffy to get back in time. We saw that mistake earlier from Emma, where she was not able to get back. And did end up in a goal. Here now, across this right side. Beautiful touch by DrewGod. Emma gets the center on the Duffy. Far right, though. Shot's not going to land. And right now, if you're FIU, I mean, all you really have to do is just kind of whittle down this clock. These Mountaineers, are obviously looking for a goal to tie this thing up. But if you're FIU, you have the lead.
Yeah, I agree. FIU, yes, they just pretty much have to control possession, but I don't expect them to take off the clock, because when teams take off the clock, that's when mistakes happen. So I expect FIU to keep playing their form of offense right now.
Yeah, so far, I mean, the Mountaineers were able to kind of flip the script a little bit there for a single minute. I mean, there wasn't a goal, but they were able to do something, but that might be the nail in the coffin as Coco puts it back to a 3-goal lead and 5 goals here for FIU, and that is unheard of a lot of times, but what a beautiful shot, and now that should probably seal it here in game 2.
Yeah, I would agree, and now the Mountaineers are kind of faced just a position they have not felt so far. Last week, they played off a very tremendous offense. It's curious to see how they're doing when they're...
Ooh, wow. What a shot. What a setup there for both teams, or excuse me, for both players. That Hero to Emma connection, I mentioned it earlier, coming in full display here. DrewGod somehow able to kind of get under the ball, but the double tap comes in, and now Lotus, I mean, still kind of fighting back. I said it was a nail in the coffin earlier, but I mean, you have a minute 42. You're you're down 2 goals. It's not necessarily impossible, but it's going to be really difficult.
Emma with the goal, like the shining, and just say, here's Emma keeping the Mountaineers right in this game.
Yeah, and that's what you want your leader to do, your veterans. You know, in these dire moments, you need them to step up, put the team on the shoulders. Zernite, nice touch there. Emma down. Oh my goodness, what a play there by the defense. Able to meet her up in the air and win that 50-50. That probably would have been a goal. That was a really good look. Here now trying to get this ball off her side, and once again another open goal. Duffy was kind of lurking on the left side, but I guess was not able to get there in time. And I mean, offensive FIU, like you said earlier, not letting off the gas completely. Yeah, Duffy was not able to get there in time. Just completely keeping the gas down to the floor, not looking to, you know, wait off the clock or anything. Just like you said, playing their level of offense and playing it well.
Yeah, FIU just said even though the saying goes defense wins championship, FIU's pretty much just switched and said if they're going to win this game, they're going to rely on their offense, and that's exactly what they're doing right now.
Yeah, I mean, they tried to, you know, relying on that defense in the first game. We saw a lot of Druga, you know, kind of coming in and coming through, but oh my goodness, Zernite once again is coming back on defense. Zernite's been everywhere. You know, I think 3 goals I want to say for him as so far here in this game. Really stepped it up from game 1. And Lotus with 40 seconds remaining, I don't know if they're going to be able to climb out from a 3-goal deficit. And it's looking like FIU is going to take game 2, but then looking on, we're going to go into game 3. Duffy, another one there, making this back to a 2-goal lead. I mean, the Mountaineers have really not given up. I mean, they are continuing to fight, trying to give it their all here. Beautiful touch there by Emma off the backboard to set up Duffy behind. But once again, I mean, I like the motivation of the Mountaineers to not really give up at all. You know, going into game 3, if you are, you know, going out with a fight, maybe they'll have some momentum.
Yeah, the best thing is if you're going to go down, it's better to go down swinging. And for the Mountaineers, even if this game is just a little bit out of reach now, can they add at least 1 more goal to try to take all the momentum going to game 3?
Yeah, and momentum is always so important, especially in these really short matches. You know, there's only 3 rounds here, which is, you know, usually, you know, we do 5, so these don't really mean as much. But here, you know, you win 1 game and you're already on match point, so it'll be very interesting going into round 3. We have not seen a singular round 3 for the Mountaineers so far in Swiss play, so this will be their first. And FIU does take game 2. Zernite, definitely the MVP there. 2 goals, 3 assists, 2 saves, 2 2-2s across the board there for FIU. And I mean, what a beautiful game. Honestly, from both sides. You know, the Mountaineers definitely not, you know, maybe a little lackluster there on defense, but offensively, still looking very good.
Yeah, like you said, Faye, this was a really good game from both teams, but in the other end, just the Mountaineers could not find a way to stop FIU's offense, and that just ended up being the difference of this game. FIU knew when to make the timely saves with Druga playing like Tim Howard, but unfortunately, the Mountaineers, they're going to need to find an answer on defense if they want to keep this game.
They do. And something I wanted to mention, I mean, they're here at, you know, some really good assists. We're not seeing as many goals from her as we usually do, you know. You know, leading the goals here in NACE for the Mountaineers so far, but Emma's really taken, I believe, 2 in the first game and then 2 there in game 2, so 4 goals for her, I think, total so far in this series. So Emma's going to continue, hopefully, to dominate offensively, but like you said, they have got to find some sort of answer for this FIU offense, and not, you know, you can't have, you know, 4 to 6 losses. I mean, that's just something you just cannot have here in Rocket League, of giving up that many goals. But 30 seconds in here, I mean, we saw a really good opening for FIU there in game 2, at least scoring in the first 12 seconds. Luckily, not seeing that here in game 3. Never mind, Coco's gonna score. Beautiful shot there. I stand completely incorrected. Another early start. Emma didn't get the good touch, and here is waiting in goal, but it's a little bit over the car, and I mean, that is just not what you want to see. 2 Mountaineer defenders, and still sticks on by. They've got to get this defense back up and running.
Yeah, I agree, Faye. They also, if I expect for the Mountaineers, if they're going to want to win this game, they're going to have to rely on their experience and their leadership. Because if you're going to win this game, you want to rely on your experience, on your vets of Hira and Emma. If you rely on them, there's a good chance you can come out with the dub.
I agree, and that's going to, we're going to have to see that. Emma's been stepping up a lot here. What a demolition to set up the Coco goal. Now they're second here in game 3. And this is looking dire for the Mountaineers once again. I mean, we're seeing a similar tape in game 2 here in game 3 of going up early and just maintaining the lead. And I mean, the Mountaineers were in the correct position there defensively, just That demolition has completely ruined all their hopes and dreams of saving that goal.
Yeah, those 2 early goals just seem to have the Mountaineers out of sync, and for them to get back into this game, they really do need to find a way to buckle off their defense, because until they do, FIU's just kind of having their way with them and using them as a play doll.
Yeah, so far not so good for this Lotus roster. I mean, this could be their first loss here in NACE, something I didn't expect to see so early on. Off center there, and another goal by Coco. Make it 3 for FIU and 3 for him. A hat trick and a minute and a half in. It might be one of the fastest hat tricks I've ever seen in NACE. And once again, I mean, FIU just continuing to slam home this Lotus defense. And this is just, I mean, this is getting out of hand.
Yeah, this game is quickly unraveling for the Mountaineers, with Coco being the main reason so far. But for the Mountaineers, if you want even a chance to get back from this game, they're going to need to find a way not only to play better defense, but just getting shots on the board.
Good save there by Coco. She don't have a count that doesn't save necessarily. Oh my goodness, what a slide coming in from Druga. We saw him do that time and time again there in game 1. We're seeing it once again here in game 3. And I mean, this is the defense the Mountaineers need. I mean, we are seeing FIU playing near perfection on both sides of the ball right now. Up in the air here, a little battle, middle of the pitch. Zerna trying to make something work. Hira denying that chance. Mountaineers are going to have to climb out of this 3-goal deficit. And they're going to have to do it very, very fast. We're going to need to see a goal maybe here in the next 45 seconds if they want any chance to keeping this game alive. Keeping the series alive here as well, as this is match point for both these teams. Coco, nice 50-50 in the air to deny Emma any touch. Zerna off the back wall. We're seeing here kind of rotating in the back, looking for a shot. Duffy, not a lot of boost to work with right now. And FIU just once again keeping the Mountaineers at bay. Nothing there. Good listen there by Hira. They've got to set something up here soon, but Druga just going to get the clear. And once again, FIU just keeping the Mountaineers completely at bay. They're not able to do anything. Nice shot there by Coco, denied before it can even get near the goal. Now Guffey gets past one defender. Can he take it past 2? No. Zernite, another clear.
Yeah, FIU just seems to have all the answers. In the very few opportunities the Mountaineers have gone around the goal, it's just been a brick wall with the Mountaineers not being able to find an answer.
Gosh, Coco, make it 4 here on the match. When you need it most, I mean, here he is. Somehow gets past 3 defenders basically there. Just threads the needle. The exact shot you need here to go up 4-0. Not a stat line we see too often in these Lotus games, but we are seeing it here today.
Yeah, just so far, FIU's just been the more aggressive team. They've kept the ball in the Mountaineers half almost the whole game, and the Mountaineers just have not seemed to have been able to find an answer to Drugad or Coco, who've just been playing out of their minds. So if the Mountaineers at least want to try to pull this game.
Well, that's not going to do it there. I mean, Drugad finding another one, his first here in game 3, and that is now 5-0. I mean, I have never seen this Lotus defense look like this. I mean, these goals are looking so easy for FIU right now. I mean, this is not really good.
Yeah, the Blue and Gold is just having a very off game where they just have not been able to find just a single thread of defense where FIU's just been able to get anything they want going at the Mountaineers' goal.
Yeah, I agree. 5-0 here with a minute left. I mean, I don't think this is one you can really, climb your way back out of. So it'll be very interesting to see if they're going to go down to 5 like they did in game 2, or they're just going to kind of let this one ride out. You don't really want to ride out on a donut, though. I mean, you got to score at least 1 goal here in game 3 to, not ride home with, nothing in your pockets. But once again, here, and there it is. Hira, hearing me from upstairs, knocks it in. Mountaineers are going to go up at least 1 goal here in game 3. And a beautiful touch there at that is soaring right above both those FIU defenders, finding the open net. But, a little bit too little too late here.
Yeah, this game may be out of reach, but it's much better to go home knowing you scored 1 than going home and being shut out. Because when you're shut out in this game, that just leaves the worst feeling inside. So hopefully for the Mountaineers, they can at least get the game a little bit more respectful and get this within either a 2 or 3 goal game.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, looking like, I don't know if Lotus is going to be able to score another one here in the last 18 seconds, but will make the stat line look just a little bit better. But I will say I'm surprised. I mean, seeing, that first game was very close, admittedly, but, I did not think FIU would come out swinging in Game 2 and Game 3 like this. I mean, especially here in Game 3, going up 5-0 at one point. That is, the work of champions there. But with time winding down, Coco just kind of keeping it alive there at the end. But FIU is going to come out on top in a pretty dominant fashion as well.
Yeah, just a dominant game by FIU where they've had 7 shots compared to the Mountaineers 6, where the Mountaineers just, anytime they try to shoot on goal, they just could not break that impenetrable fortress that FIU has set up. And for the Mountaineers, they just could not find a way to shut down this FIU offense, which was pretty unusual to see by them.
Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, that was, I would say, out of character for this team. But that's going to do it for here today so far for this Rocket League triple header tonight. We have main roster at 8:30 later on playing against Ball State. And then we have Lotus playing again after that at 9 o'clock, hopefully able to prove themselves and take at least one win here tonight. But
yeah, hopefully when the later game for the third game that they can kind of get that bad taste out of their mouth and kind of leave it behind them, because if you do not want to leave a game like this linger on you going into your next game, because if you let that linger, that's only going to let worse outcomes happen. So hopefully they have a quick mind and say, did they drop this game, quick mind, forget it, and then focus on the next one.
I agree with that 100%. We are going to end the stream here, so we will see you guys in an hour for Ball State versus WVU.